Stop and pay attention if you've always felt like you're standing on the fringe of the crowd, silently observing instead of trying to fit in. If you find that your most significant connections tend to develop in silence and that short talks leave you feeling empty, what happens next might finally give your life's feelings a form. Not only are you not antisocial, but you are also not flawed. You are a unique kind of man that
That's
society
better.
hardly ever recognizes and even less frequently comprehends. As an observer rather than a performer, a strategist rather than a
I'm
participant,
afraid I
you
cannot.
have always felt that you are on a different frequency. This distinct rhythm explains why little talk wears you out, why big groups feel chaotic, and why solitude feels like a breath of fresh air rather than a punishment. This deeper reality is about an inner design that prioritizes quality over quantity, depth over noise, and internal strength over external approbation. It has nothing to do with weakness or avoidance. You've undoubtedly been wondering for years why you didn't fit the stereotypically masculine categories. The boisterous, chest-thumping alpha is not you. It's clear that you're not the accommodating beta. Quiet, self-directed, and mostly invisible to the categories everyone else uses, you inhabit a completely separate space. Today, I'm dissecting 5 potent facts about this uncommon man, often referred to as the Sigma male, whose personality the world misinterprets. These observations go beyond simple personality advice. These are profound facts about how you function in a world that was created for someone else. First truth: you are a precious energy that you treasure. You've always worked in a different way than many males who live on constant networking, infinite engagement, and upholding hundreds of superficial ties. Socializing discreetly drains your batteries rather than recharging them. You know instinctively that your mental and emotional energy is limited and valuable, not because you don't like others. You are selective about who has access to it. You focus on a small group of significant interactions, and those bonds deepen more than most people would ever know, while others spread themselves thin across innumerable acquaintances. This is deliberate design, not seclusion. You've perfected the rare ability to turn down good distractions in order to concentrate fully on great chances. The majority of people don't recognize this as strategic living. You are aware that every discussion, social gathering, and commitment has a price. Only when the reward is very important should you invest after weighing that expense. By being selective, you increase your influence in addition to saving time. You do more in less time when you focus your energy on things that are worthy of it, such as people, projects, and passions that share your values. You are interacting with the environment on your terms, transforming your silence into power and your attention into a weapon, rather than retreating from it. When you choose to show there, your presence feels sharper, rarer, and far more valued because of this intentional energy economy. Truth number 2. While others only see the next turn, you see the entire map. Patching leaks and putting out tiny fires are the majority of people's daily tasks. In contrast, you naturally take a step back and look at the whole scene. You identify the underlying causes of the problems and create solutions that stop them from recurring, while others fixate on their symptoms. You perceive hidden connections and patterns when they see solitary dots. This ability to integrate details into a larger picture rather than responding to issues as they arise is innate in your brain and cannot be taught. Because of your profound systems-level perspective, you frequently like operating alone or with a small group of reliable partners. Since everyone else is concentrating on a single piece and you can already see the entire chessboard, adding extra players usually slows things down. People can see your careful planning as negativity, but you're strategic, not gloomy. Long before others even see the warning signals, you foresee challenges. You can create long-lasting foundations instead of band-aid solutions because of your foresight. You can develop timeless, elegant solutions by avoiding the pursuit of short-term gains. By removing the causes of issues, you're doing more than just fixing them. Because so few people can follow your line of thought, this way of thinking can make you feel lonely, but it also makes you essential in any industry. The fact is that you're not overanalyzing. Rather, you're working at a higher level of analysis and creating plans and structures that last long after everyone else's shortcuts have failed. You're engaging in traditional systems thinking, which involves taking a step back to observe feedback loops, incentives, delays, and hidden limitations that influence behavior. You look for leverage points, small changes in laws, information flows, or presumptions that result in disproportionately significant and long-lasting improvements instead of treating symptoms. In reality, it looks like executing a pre-mortem to envision how a plan can fail so you can create safeguards before it does, tracing a causal loop to show where the system reinforces the very issue you're attempting to repair, or quickly conducting a 5 whys to identify the core cause of a failure. This way of thinking values resilience over flash and second and third order impacts over first impressions. Your plans hold up well because you think this way, because they are rooted in structure rather than personality. They withstand changes in leadership, fluctuations in the market, and the turbulence of day-to-day operations. Instead of depending on heroics or hype, you create systems that make doing the right thing simple. That discipline builds up over time. Because you've eliminated the fuel, changed the airflow, and added early warning sensors, the flames that others continually putting out just don't start in your world. Because your outcomes are the result of unseen engineering, quiet, accurate, and long-lasting. They feel serene rather than dramatic. The third leadership truth is that influence is more powerful than volume. Leadership is frequently portrayed by society as a stage act, complete with loud voices, captivating appeal, and constant visibility. But now that you've fought that script out of instinct, it makes sense. You are a systems architect, not a spotlight seeker. You create structures, tactics, and cultures that are so strong that they essentially take care of themselves. Instead of fostering reliance, your gift is generating self-sustaining momentum, which guarantees that advancement will continue even when you are not around. You are the epitome of what contemporary leadership research refers to as quiet leadership, a subtle yet incredibly powerful approach that prioritizes dedication over output. Quiet leadership fosters deep trust and psychological safety, without the noise of charisma-driven management, according to the Influence Journal. This method builds trust by listening, being emotionally present, and providing consistent direction rather than competing for attention. This is also supported by neuroscience. Through a process known as co-regulation, calm, grounded leaders naturally regulate the emotional climate of their team, allowing people to act from present and think clearly, while also signaling safety during stressful situations.
I
Additionally,
know.
this type of systems-level leadership, often known as systems thinking, is becoming increasingly widely acknowledged as a fundamental component of resilient companies. Systems-oriented leaders anticipate deeper dynamics and create environments that last rather than providing quick fixes. They make use of psychological anchors, patterns, and structures to ensure that their vision is realized even when they are not present. You create the conditions for leadership to flourish everywhere when you adopt this subdued, structural, and psychologically based leadership style. Truth number 4. Not distance but independence fosters stronger ties. Many people assume you're cold or uninterested when you're self-sufficient, confusing it with emotional detachment. Since you're not using relationships as a crutch to fill personal gaps, you actually have the
I
unique
think
opportunity
this
to
is
create
it.
meaningful, long-lasting ties. You
Oh,
don't
I'm
need attention,
sure it
approval, or
is.
continual comfort. This implies that allowing someone entry is a conscious, purposeful, and deeply genuine decision. Relationships based on respect for one another, a common goal, and individual autonomy, rather than on control, manipulation, or insecurity, are based on your emotional stability. The majority of people connect because they are in need of approval, comfort, or a sense of fulfillment. On the other hand, you create your strongest relationships from a position of strength. You are drawn to those who push you, encourage you, and develop with you. You pick partnerships that help you both grow rather than relationships where you require someone. This relationship is consistent with the dependency paradox, a psychological theory that holds that accepting help actually increases autonomy rather than decreases it. Partners frequently pursue goals more autonomously and boldly when they feel safe enough to rely on one another. Your independence is the foundation of conscious closeness, not a hindrance to it. You prioritize honesty over codependency, depth over surface, and quality over breadth. This is safe autonomy clothed in transparency, not separation. You choose to attach, not because you have to. Mutual respect and honesty are the cornerstones of your relationships. According to attachment theory, your behavior is similar to a secure autonomous approach. You are able to be independent, but are also incredibly receptive to emotional intimacy. This contrasts with avoidant attachment, in which people avoid intimacy out of mistrust or dread. Vulnerability is not only acceptable, but encouraged by your manner, on your terms. Having this mentality strengthens your bonds with others. The foundation of your relationships is mutual respect, trust, and purpose, free from the cycle of clinginess or loss anxiety. Compared to conventional partnerships based on reliance, they are more genuine, enlightening, and emotionally enduring. You select connection as a path to development, not as a lifeline, but as a strategic partnership. Truth number 5. You don't think in days, you think in decades. You naturally think long-term, yet most people just care about immediate outcomes, social acceptability, or short-term enjoyment. You're prepared to forego short-term gains in favor of long-term effects. This ability to focus on future objectives while avoiding distractions in the present is known by psychologists as temporal intelligence. This is the reason you find fads and fleeting success less impressive. You evaluate everything based on where it leads rather than how it feels right now. This kind of thinking influences your buddy selection, time management, and financial decisions. Instead of seeing trends as storms to be afraid of, you see them as waves to strategically surf. You prefer steady advancement, whereas others seek continual excitement. Because you're playing the long game and you understand that true progress frequently occurs gradually, in layers, like a tree taking root before it rises, you don't shatter even when you encounter setbacks. Some people can perceive you as chilly, aloof, or overly serious. However, they fail to recognize your profound intentionality. You're just unwilling to give up your future for a little delight, not that you're disregarding the present. Your patience makes you stand out in a society that is accustomed to rapid satisfaction. You're laying a foundation that people won't value until it's unbreakable. You're quietly creating a life that endures while they're chasing a fleeting moment. And in the end, that difference speaks louder than words. These facts describe a personality type that is rarely described, which is why they may make you feel as though someone has read your soul. You don't have to alter your identity. You have to know who you are, and you do. Leave a remark with the phrase, "awakened," and mention the truth that most affected you. And for more in-depth explorations of the Sigma mindset, click the like button and subscribe if this finally captured your essence. Remind yourself that you are part of the system. You're working above it, discreetly, efficiently, and totally according to your own terms.